We've got a news conference with Simon Birmingham. Let's go there live. I think he's talking, in fact, in the mural hall next to the memorial.
President Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine ought to cease. It ought never to have occurred, and the world must continue to apply maximum pressure to President Putin to ensure that he does withdraw troops and respects the territorial sovereignty and boundaries of Ukraine. Now, his claims that the world has any interest in relation to impinging upon the territories or sovereignty of Russia are fanciful, they are wrong. The world is simply looking for the type of respect that is underpinned in the United Nations Charter and that is demanded of all countries in relation to the territories and sovereignty of another nation. Not only are his actions illegal, but he threatens now the immoral use of nuclear weapons and the illegitimate use of referenda in relation to occupied territories. The immoral threats in relation to nuclear weapons are nothing but reckless, destabilising and indeed the types of actions that the whole world ought to roundly condemn and apply maximum pressure on him to cease from undertaking. The type of illegitimate claims and plans in relation to referenda will offer no sound basis for reading of verdicts of those peoples, given the reckless use, the poor use, the failure of such actions by Russia in the past. We have seen, also in the last 24 hours, President Zelensky reiterate to the world the type of request for additional assistance that has been made here in Australia by Ukraine's ambassador to Australia. Australia has been the leading non-NATO contributor of assistance to Ukraine, and we ought to remain so. We should be at the forefront of assistance to Ukraine. Australia's response to Ukraine's call for more assistance should come swiftly, positively and generously. The Albanese government should make sure that Australia continues to give all we can to assist Ukraine in its military response, which to date has been a heroic defence of Ukraine, and ensure that we continue to provide other assistance, humanitarian and otherwise, to assist Ukraine in its efforts. It is in Australia's interests, as it is in interests of nations all over the world, for Ukraine to succeed in defence of its sovereignty and territories and to uphold the type of international laws and rules in a way that can then deter others from ever acting in the type of way that President Putin and Russia have acted on this occasion. Happy to take questions.
Well, Australia should continue to be the leading non-NATO partner or contributor to the war in Ukraine. Is that an endless commitment? I mean, how long can we continue to put forward resources when there is potentially a conflict brewing in our own backyard?
As I said, this is an important war. It's an important war not just for the people of Ukraine and the defence of Ukraine, but for setting example. And the example set to date has been one of overwhelming commitment from the rest of the world to help a small nation, in defence of itself, to help a small nation through the provision of military assistance, to help that small nation through the application of sanctions against the aggressor in Russia. And we ought to see that continued level of support because it is important to act as a deterrent to any others in the future.